That was fun.
I had fun. I laughed. Like that was. I did. I will say.
Put that on the box art.
Oh
I laughed.
God, I will say. So this was
I'm playing it for, all week. So I don't know how many hours, but it's like when I wake up, it's Halo. When I get home from work, it's Halo. I don't talk to my wife. I don't feed my dog. I just play Halo, and it's fun. And so start off with I picked the bigger ones because there's like best person mopping the floor. Like I get that.
There really is best.
And that's cool, but it's like
best person that's watched an esport.
Yeah. Yeah, how many G Fuels have you drank in one day? And that's great. It's just we're going to follow like the biggest ones, at least for the show. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Plastic Cards Podcast, a show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, Gavin Jones, Gavaroni. How are you doing this week?
Dude, it's been a fantastic week for content.
Yeah.
Stuff is coming out. I think the real question on everybody's mind, before I ask you how you are, but Tiger King 2.
I have zero desire to watch
the
sequel. I'm glad that you are jumping in because I watched the first one. It's cool. I just don't see what they could explain in the sequel, but how are you liking it?
Definitely not as good as the first one.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. They deal a little bit more with Carol Baskin's, what actually happened there.
Was she murdered her husband?
Yeah, like actually digging into that.
Did they show the body or something? Or like, what did they... Because she did it.
Don't get me wrong. There was an episode that pissed me off because the whole thing was just speculation. Here's a pond on his land.
Could he be
in here? We don't know.
We don't have the rights to look. So.
Here's his van. How did it get there? We don't know.
Interesting.
So,
and then one guy's still locked up. So what?
The Tiger King himself. Yeah.
Yeah. Does his? I think they decommissioned or shut down his zoo, right?
Well, the other guy that bought it just moved it.
How do you move a zoo? Like a forklift?
They build a new one and then they moved all the tigers.
Oh, okay.
But even that's like got some drama behind it.
It's weird. Yeah, and did it take place in Florida?
3 different states. I can't remember. Florida was one. That's Carol Baskin's state. I can't remember the other one.
Because I think in Florida you're like legally able to own various wild animals, like up to a certain amount for some reason there. It's like the one state. So yeah, that's the thing.
All right. Well, didn't watch that. How you been? How's your week?
Good. We lived life, hung out. I watched I was gonna say terrible movie. It's not terrible. It's okay. It's fine. But it's Red Notice on Netflix.
I started watching it.
You did?
Yeah.
The Rock and what's his face? Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds. And Gal
Gadot. It's a movie. It's weird and I keep looking at Megan every time we're watching it because it's like The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. They just play The Rock and Ryan Reynolds now. They're just that character now forever. And that's fine. But it's like, that's exactly like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. He's the same kind of witty. That's what they got him for. He's quick. He's always with the comebacks. The Rock is The Rock, as he is in every movie. He has a crazy jump scene where he's jumping in the very last second and grabbing onto shit. It's always that. But it's fine. It's fun. It's okay.
I felt the same. I stopped right as they finally get double crossed.
Now there's a lot of double crosses. So which one was it?
Oh,
it keeps happening.
Gal reveals that she's teamed up with the guy with the egg.
Oh, gotcha.
So I stopped right about there because I had to go to bed or something, and I don't really feel the need to go back.
I think you're fine, really. We watch it because it's like we couldn't decide anything. Let's just watch it. And it was okay. I do think, as much as I give Gal Gadot shit for not being a good actor, because I don't think she is, but in this movie, she actually has more of a like twist on what she normally does compared to them two, where she's actually playing it like, this quote unquote bad guy, a bad lady, and she's interesting and kind of funny and just different from, I guess, what we all know her from Wonder Woman and other movies too, where she plays this kind of this just hero. But in this movie, she's different. And I did like that. But everyone else is exactly the same as they've been in every movie before.
So you're telling me she's going to get interesting soon.
Well, for me, I felt that from the get-go. And it's not like, oh my God, light years ahead of what she's been. But it was a nice slight change to what is before. I think that's a Jimmy John's guy. What is him, Jimmy John's?
That's a Jimmy John's.
I told him to throw it through the window. So hopefully he abides by that. But yeah, watch that. It's a movie. It's a thing.
It is definitely a movie. That was a story that did not need to be told.
No. And yeah, there's some spoiler stuff I was going to say, but you haven't watched it. So, but
you can spoil it. I legit don't care.
Okay, so spoilers for Red Notice in 3, 2, 1. So they're after these eggs, these magical eggs that are Egyptian. They're from Cleopatra. She had them, apparently, was sitting on them.
The magical huevos.
Yes, magical huevos. And they're trying to get them to sell to this Egyptian millionaire. And spoilers, they get them to the Egyptian millionaire. And then right when the guy presents it to his daughter, because it's like a wedding gift for his daughter. Mm-hmm. Right when they do that, the Interpol police come and take the eggs away. And so they get their prize at the end. But they get the guy on holding Nazi material or whatever, because the last egg, another spoiler, is held in the secret Nazi bunker that they find out. So it's in this like Raiders of the Lost Ark, bunker with all this Nazi stuff that they had for years, right? So the Nazis had the last egg. So they're actually able to arrest the dude who buys them from these people because it's a Nazi thing that he's holding on to. But it wasn't really a Nazi thing. It was Egyptian in the first place. But then that's all they say. They arrest them, and it's like everyone high fives at the end. But it's like it wasn't Nazi. It was Egyptian. But it is what it is. There was it doesn't make sense. So there was a crossover with WWE at the same time, apparently. They had the egg. There was a Survivor Series, which is a pay-per-view.
Sold Graphics. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hopefully you're not trying to watch this Red Notice, or you're a bot, which could be done. Yep, you're a bot. Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it anyways. But because The Rock is in this movie, there was a Survivor Series pay-per-view happening at the same time when that premiered. And so the WWE had those eggs on display on the pay-per-view. So it's like a crossover thing. The eggs from the movie. So they were at that pay-per-view. So that was the thing. But apparently on Twitter, people that are really deep in WWE, they're excited because they spent that whole pay-per-view as a tribute to The Rock, like his commemorating the like 30 years, whatever he's been there. And he didn't show up to the thing. So, and they did the crossover where they had the eggs there. It's like, okay, cool. We got the eggs. You're going to show up. He did not show up. But yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
But I watched that movie. That's fine. You watched a movie that people were really stoked for, and you were stoked for, Ghostbusters. What'd you think of that?
It was all right.
Oh, okay.
It's weird. It got kind of mixed reviews about a month before it came out, and then the reviews when it came out were kind of bad. And
see, I've only heard positive stuff. Maybe it's my weird echo chamber on Twitter. I've only heard positive stuff.
The weird thing, also, I love the mom. She I don't even feel like she's acting. She just showed up.
Okay.
Just on the set, just a mom. But she's hilarious. Paul Rudd is someone described as his Paul Ruddiest role yet.
Oh,
and
you sold me on that.
That is putting some stank on his name. They've clearly never seen Wet Hot American Summer.
Okay.
But no, he's not even that Paul Ruddy.
Gotcha.
But it was a good use of him. But yeah, it was good. It just like the last third. Like the first 2/3 are really good, and then it's like they didn't know what to do with the last third.
Interesting.
So they kind of just threw it all at the wall and saw it. So if you do go see it, just know, the last third is just sort of, it almost turns into like a farce. It's kind of weird. But there is a character on there named Podcast who's adorable.
You're telling about that character, yeah.
Yeah, Podcast is funny. The little girl, I forget her name, she's
Tinkering
very
away.
Funny. Yeah.
Now you gave me your spoiler-free view on it. Now I have no interest in watching it, so now spoilers for Ghostbusters. In 3, 2, 1. Tell me how they link these to the original movies and kind of what they lead for the future. And how the third part falls apart.
The Ghostbusters come back.
Whoa.
And help them bust the ghost.
Nice. You kind of have to, and I appreciate that.
Which is cool. They bring in Harold Ramis's ghost.
How do they do that?
With CG, but it looks just like him. They did a really fantastic job.
Is there voice acting? Was that weird at all?
No, he's quiet, but they did a very classy job of including Ghost.
Because it's controversial to do that.
Right. And then I don't know if there's going to be a sequel because there were 2 after credit scenes. And the second one, the character of Ray Stans, he's been a very successful businessman. And he's looking into reopening the Ghostbusters, which doesn't necessarily make sense because the reason they shut down the Ghostbusters in both Ghostbusters 1 or 2 and this one is because the ghosts stopped showing up.
Yeah.
So,
but obviously something supernatural is happening in this town, though, right?
Yeah, they can start back up, but there's no reason to have the Ghostbusters if the ghosts aren't around.
So did they end the ghosts then at the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they did that at the end of number 1 too.
That's the thing. The ghosts are never done. They're gonna come back and they're gonna call these kids over.
Well, there has to be. It seems like there has to be something to like create like a doorway from where they're coming from.
And you think the post credit would show some kind of doorway's not all the way closed situation?
Right.
Gotcha.
But it's fun. That was a blast. And then Tiger King. So, and then I've been watching more Arcane. That's
how dare you compare? I'm not even a Ghostbusters fan, but how dare you compare Tiger King and then segue to Ghostbusters as like the same thing?
Yeah, I'm a little sad they didn't show more of that Doc guy, the like real creepy guy with like a harem of women on his tiger farm.
Okay, in Ghostbusters or in
Tiger King too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to know about Ghostbusters though. Okay, so what do you think of the marshmallow dudes? They made them tiny this time. They seem pretty cute and funny.
They were barely in it. They have
Really?
a bit towards the end, and it's purely for a single joke, and it was a good joke.
Okay.
So it's a good callback.
Do you think it seems like a lot of Ghostbusters fans are pretty satisfied with this movie? Do you think this is a different situation from like the last reboot they tried to do?
And the last one didn't really have its own identity. It either needed to be closer to the original or it needed to be more of its own thing. And this one, for the first 2/3, carves out its own identity, and then it kind of turns into fan service.
Do you think, would you prefer, as a fan too, would you prefer them not have the original cast in there?
I would have.
Really?
Yeah. As much as I love those guys.
Or in a limited capacity.
Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray looked very tired.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like they just wheeled him onto the set.
Yeah.
How do you do with this?
Yeah. At least Bill Murray has been doing stuff, but Dan Aykroyd, he just sells like tequila and searches for aliens.
Oh, he's lost his goddamn mind.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? The guy, I can never remember his name. He plays Winston Zedmore.
Oh yeah. Did he reprise his role?
He did, and he hasn't aged a goddamn. Well, okay, he's aged since the originals.
Okay.
But like he hasn't aged for a while. He like thickened up and just stopped aging.
Gotcha.
So it's
interesting. That's cool. I'm glad it seems like at least it wasn't bad, because I know you're a big Ghostbusters fan.
Could have been better, but yeah, it wasn't bad.
Well,
It was fun. I had fun. I laughed. Like that was I did. I will say,
put that on the box art. I
my
laughed.
God. I will say, so this was the, so I had these two little girls. So I can already, like, you know, those like teen reacts videos. So I had my own personal teen reacts.
Nice.
There was these two little girls.
Sounds like hell.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But I had these two little girls next to me, just commenting about absolutely everything. It was so annoying. But
Did
I
they
was
keep asking who are the Ghostbusters or what is a Ghostbuster?
they were just making dumb jokes. But so that was a little bit annoying, but it's so much better than the last Ghostbusters I watched in Chicago, and I've never experienced the phenomenon of being in a movie theater, specifically like a horror movie, and having someone yell at the TV screen the whole time.
Yeah.
And that was in full effect with the last Ghostbuster. Just don't go in there.
But what, that one wasn't.
Hell no.
That one wasn't
And she
scary
was
though.
also right next to me, the loudest thing in the universe. I'm trying to hide away like this isn't happening. But to be fair, that movie wasn't that funny, so it kind of made it for me towards the end.
Interesting, like a laugh tracks kind of thing, your own personal one.
She was having fun. She was terrified. That movie is not scary.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not scary.
She spooked me. This one actually had some jump scares, which is funny. I was watching with my girlfriend and some of her friends, and her friend is I've never actually seen this, but she's a puncher when she gets scared.
Whoa.
So she sort of just
punching you?
No, she punched my girlfriend.
Okay. Or strangers.
Just ooh.
That's a good reaction to have.
Sure.
But also I don't want to be around you when you're scared and punching
not.
people. But yeah, that's fair to be like, yeah, if I get this danger, start punching wildly, but I've never had that desire. I do the thing where I like close my eyes and flinch, which is just the worst move to do, but I do it.
I think it's part of it is like your body's trying to protect your eyes first, because
I guess so, but then I can't see where the danger's coming from.
Sure.
So I can't stop doing it, but that's what I do. I want to do the cool man move where I'm like wide eyes, like, what's up? What are we going to do? Like I'm trying to challenge it, but no, I just cower and go, ah.
Oh, this reminds me. This movie also has like a 5-second cameo from God, what famous actor was that? It's either think it's the guy that plays J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, really? I don't know
Yeah.
his name, but yes.
Yeah, he's in it for a whole 5 seconds for absolutely no reason.
Okay.
It was great.
Do they make any reference to the female-led cast of the Ghostbusters?
No, because it's in a separate universe.
But you think, damn,
That
they
was the
still, for all the shit that movie got, it still kept the name going, you know, for at least that bit of time. And then they do this thing. At least that, you know, some kind of nod to them. Or like they walk on, like obviously they don't exist in this world, but something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess not. I played, just like last week, one game and one game only, and it was Halo.
It's Fortnite.
It was Fortnite. We'll talk about that, but Fortnite does their progression system better with loot boxes or whatever the hell that is, earning your things.
Right.
They do that light years better. But I'm playing Halo. I can't get enough of this game. So I fell off. We talked about it before, but I fell off with Halo 3, honestly. Halo 4, I played the campaign. It was really dope. That was a swan song on the 360. It looked great. Didn't play much of the multiplayer. Halo 5, couldn't care less. It passed me by and heard a lot of complaints too online and stuff. I just kind of avoided it. This one really brought me back, and playing that flight where it was that kind of test run,
Right.
that solidified it for me where I just knew it was on, you know, it was scratching my itch. It was everything I wanted it to be. Very fun. I'm playing it for, all week. So I don't know how many hours, but it's like when I wake up, it's Halo. When I get home from work, it's Halo. I don't talk to my wife. I don't feed my dog. I just play Halo. And it's fun. And I have nothing but great things to say about it. The only negative thing is the way that they have this progression system linked in, where if you want to unlock cool armor or any kind of, of cosmetic upgrades, the way you progress is so goddamn slow. And they've done this intentionally. And they even mentioned before the beta came out, before the multiplayer launch, was that they had no intentions on changing it. Mm-hmm. They want people to see it through, but it's just, it's a mental drain because you're not progressing as you'd want to rather. So you get XP that doesn't count at all, but you get XP for kills, 100 points, right? Mm-hmm. You get 50 XP for helping a kill or for assisting in one. That just goes down the drain. It doesn't go anywhere. So unless you're hitting these challenges, you're not earning the XP that they would progress your leveling. And all the different armor sets that are cool, they're all locked into like level 50 and up. And it takes so long. I'm on level 7. I played all week. Level 7.
Plus got the boosters, the Hot Pocket booster.
I did, which didn't work, apparently. So I had to email someone and talk to Larry, and Larry never answered his phone call. And it's like the most convoluted system for Hot Pocket, so they need to change that shit. But you can also buy the Fast Pass or whatever it's called, but it's their equivalent of Battle Pass. It is the Battle Pass.
Gotcha. You
can pay however much it was. I think it was $20. And I thought, oh, deal. I'm getting this game for free. I'll throw some bucks in there. Mm-hmm. Didn't really get anything out of the bat. And then beyond that, it's just so slow for progressing. You can buy different armor sets in the shop. They do look cool, but they're like $20 each. It's really insane. So that's my only complaint is like, just toggle that where I feel like I'm earning stuff. They did over the weekend, and I was telling you about it. They finally gave where for completing a match, you get 50 XP. So something to kind of keep you going a little bit.
You didn't even get that? Or was it just lower?
Unless you're doing challenges within the match, you didn't get that. And challenges are tough where I get what they're trying to do, where you're doing stuff that you wouldn't normally do within the gameplay. I get that, and I'm down for that, but it's not enough to actually progress you through. Like one challenge is you have to, in a big team battle, that's the only time it shows up, but those turrets that you can pull off their tripod, right. You have to get X amount of kills with that. It's not easy to do. Various things that they're just not fun. So I really wish they would toggle that. That's the only complaint I have. Otherwise, it's like plays perfectly, looks great, feels great. That's what's keeping me going is the actual core gameplay is so fun that even though I'm not like able to unlock anything or it's very, very slow, I'm still having a blast.
Gotcha.
But what'd you think? You played a couple matches. Was the only time you played when we played together?
I think so. Yeah.
What do you think with that time?
I think the thing I like, and I think all your points are valid. That being said, like I'm the weirdo that like when I was playing Overwatch, I made it all the way to level 100 without ever opening a loot box. So I never have had like any skins in that game whatsoever.
Is that game free to play too?
No, but progression systems like that, unless they like Call of Duty where they unlock like weapons or something, I really don't care.
Yeah.
So for that, I realize that most people care, so I'm the weirdo in this scenario. There's
There's people that don't. Yeah, I get that.
Sure. But I think the thing that I like is it's fun. It is very fun. I really like these weapons on the field games. I like the fact that the vehicles are very powerful, so you really want to control them. These power weapons, there's stuff for you to get. You don't want to just take your starting gun and run at the other guy. You want to take advantage of stuff around the map. That I think is really fun. But the thing I think I've realized is there's totally room for Halo Infinite and Splitgate.
Yeah, I think they kind of provide their own thing. Splitgate has the portals. It's a little bit different of a flow of gameplay, like with your power-ups that you have in Infinite versus just you're stuck with your base mode of transportation, how you move. Yeah. And in Splitgate, that might even be more towards like Halo CE gameplay versus...
CE?
The Combat Evolved, like the first Halo.
Oh, okay.
Halo expert here, so
I should have got that. Yeah.
That's the abbreviation. But yeah, that even follows more of like a hardcore Halo style, but even though it has the portals in there and it works perfectly. But yeah, I would say with you mentioned one thing about how you can they do balance the power weapons where you really want to go tackle those weapons, but at the same time, you start off with the battle rifle. And traditionally that gun, I've never liked it, the way it spreads and everything.
Fucking
but this one, right. But I have gotten used to it where I feel like confident actually running into an engagement with someone with just a battle rifle. I feel like you can still control your shots. Feels good. You can empty a clip and take someone out if you're landing your shots. I think they balance that well. The pistol feels dope. I love taking people out with the pistol.
This pistol feels great.
Right? And that's my favorite thing about the original Halos. Like that pistol was maybe overpowered, which everyone knew at the time. Yeah. But it was still fun. This one is balanced well, where it just like feels really good, and the power weapons are dope. Although when you're in like say a capture the flag and the other team has the rocket launcher, I absolutely hate it because they just blow people down.
But that thing has always been overpowered, and that's kind of the fun,
right? And that means you should seek that out. Somebody in your party should seek that on controller or the energy shield or sword rather.
I don't know that I've been killed, but I don't think I've ever seen the energy sword.
It's there.
Infinite.
I've been killed by it. I tend to grab it. Oh, cool, and then I get killed by somebody else.
What's your new favorite weapon?
I really like the battle rifle, but that one's been solid for a while. The pistol is probably my favorite, and I wish I unlocked cooler, just like Call of Duty, where you can kind of choose whatever weapon you want. As long as you use that consistently, you start to unlock stuff. And this one, there isn't that kind of progression. I really like that because I do like using the pistol a lot. There's that one. I have started to get used to that weird shotgun that shoots the lasers either diagonally or up and down.
That's fun.
That one's
dope. Do you
dope.
ever go vertical with it?
I do as I'm running around because I think, I'm going to be tactical and I'm going to have a situation where I need to. No, it never works. But so I just go horizontal. And most people go left and right anyways.
Yeah.
So it ends up working out. But
I think it's that travel time.
Right. There you go. But I'm trying to think of the Needler I'll never use because I hate that gun. But,
you should get revenge kills with it at least.
Yeah, it does work at least for that. I don't like the delayed gratification with a Needler. And you kind of have you're playing the long game with a Needler.
Right.
But sniper rifle is dope. I've gotten, I don't know, maybe 3 kills so far in the week of playing. I'm terrible at sniping. But no, it's a blast. It's just, man, I'm hoping that they are listening to feedback. Like they added that new update where you get extra XP for just being in a match. That's great. But I've been listening to other podcasts and they're saying this kind of echoes, I guess, how Destiny handled the first season with their reactions on progression. They didn't change it until the second season. And so people are wondering, because this is selling well, people are buying stuff, they might hold off until the second season. And these seasons are going a long time. So this is going to be 6 months for season 1. So we might not see updates for a long time.
That is something I've listened to some GDC talks, and you really do. You don't necessarily want to make these knee-jerk balance reactions because there's a perceived strength while people are still learning, while they're sorting out, the good players and the bad players. So it takes a little bit of time before you can actually start super listening.
And see, and a lot of the community isn't really talking about gun balancing or any kind of like power mechanics. It's just how you unlock the cosmetic stuff. And so really that should even be a faster change, but I totally understand that 343 doesn't want to make any knee-jerk reactions like you're saying. I think they also have pressure because it's free to play and it's making money by people, buying the battle pass and whatnot, or just buying skins outright, that I think they have pressure from whoever higher up saying, hey, keep this going because people are buying it. So if you make these changes, people can unlock things quote unquote faster, we're getting less money possibly. So I think they also have pressure to keep this cash flow going. which is still cool because it's free to play. So it is literally free to jump in and play. I don't think because it's a free to play game, you don't need Xbox Live to play. So you can jump in and play it if you have even on your with xCloud on your phone. I don't know why anybody wants to do that. Just with a latency thing with a multiplayer game, but terrible. The bar for entry is super low, so like everybody can join in. So I think because they can make money, they're going to keep it rolling, and it's a bummer. But otherwise, the gameplay itself is like fantastic. So I'll keep playing it, even though I'm not unlocking anything along the way.
I think something more worth mentioning as well, with really every Halo game, I don't know about the last one, the maps. How are we feeling about the maps?
Maps are great. I haven't found one that I don't like. There's a cityscape one that I really dig because there's a lot of nooks and crannies, and it feels compact but still open at the same time. That one's really cool. The Valhalla equivalent is dope. I forget the name of it, but you have the different like ejector things on each side, just like Valhalla did. That one's cool. This one, which was one of the few maps on the flight, is really dope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Another complaint is some of the missions, or not the missions, the gameplay modes you can play in multiplayer are pretty limited. So you have,
and one of them is that stupid fucking seed thing.
The seed thing, which I finally figured out what's going on.
Oh, okay.
I just listened to what they're telling me. It's like, oh, okay, I'll do it. But you pick up, it's like a miniature or a multi version of the capture the flag, where you'll have to capture these various seeds. You plant them at your base. Bob's your uncle. There you go. You have to do like 5 each, and the first team to do that, and then you can steal other people's seeds at their base. So that one's kind of cool. As I
start steal some people's seeds.
Oh yeah, that's what I do out on the streets. But as you start to figure that one out, that makes more sense. So I've been playing that. The one I don't like is Oddball. So Oddball,
really, I like Oddball.
So I started to like it at first, but it became a nuisance or just annoying to me because I would play and I'd happen to get matched up with people where the ideal or the goal in the game is to hold on to the ball for the longest, right? Each team has to do that. But I'd find myself be the only person finding the ball or trying to get the ball, and then no one's protecting me. So I'm just like annoyed the whole time. Yeah. And I'd rather play like say, where you kill everybody. Why can I not think of the
Slayer?
Slayer. There you go.
Yeah.
I'd rather play Slayer, or then I just switch to big team battle. I wish that, and it's going to happen eventually, where you can choose which modes you want to play. Right now, it's just kind of like a free for all, and they're throwing you in there. And I would choose to not do hardball anymore. But if you can kind of customize whatever mode you want to jump into, you can't do that at the moment, unless you're creating like a private game where it's like whoever you're in your party's in it only. So that's a complaint. But yeah, otherwise it's dope. And then campaign comes out very soon, December 8th. That's like 2 weeks away.
I really wish it was going to have co-op. That would have been a fun one to play.
Yeah. I have some quick fire news bits. That's the first time I'm doing that with you, where it's just stuff that I'm not going to cover in the show, but it's like little blurbs. Gotcha. There's an update on that progress as well, but when that mode's coming out.
I think we'll need to play again. The one thing I always forget to do with these games is adjust my mouse settings. And then like I'll do it like 2 months in, just kind of, duh. Now I can actually headshot people.
You know what's great is you can jump into training mode, which it just fills it with bots and it pauses when you pause. And so you can just mess, like I do all the time now, where I'll change my settings, even change like graphical settings and see what kind of frame rate boost I can get by like lowering stuff, adjusting stuff. So you can do that and then also mess with your controls. Yeah, I highly suggest that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also need to make sure, I've never checked if native Windows mouse acceleration is on by default, because I know Windows leaves it on by default. And I don't know if I've checked that on my new PC.
I don't know what that does or what's the benefit of that.
I'll have to show you afterwards, just in case you have it on. And then you've also not like, I mean, the biggest thing it affects is like, those whip shots where you whip it real quick, get a guy in the head,
sure,
then keep on with your day. If you have built-in mouse acceleration, you just can't whip shot. It's luck at that point.
So it's kind of detecting when you move too quickly and then adjusting it for you.
Well, it's trying to, so instead of the raw input, it's as you start moving more, it starts to accelerate the movement.
Oh.
And then sort of like what it does on a stick, which is fine for most stuff. And
I think I have seen that setting, but I've calibrated now and I'm playing controller, so I don't know what you're talking about with mouse and keyboard.
Sure.
But I'm playing with controller, and now I've calibrated it where I feel really good playing, and I'm playing against PC people, and I feel like I'm doing okay.
This is my favorite gun, by the way. I absolutely
that one's dope. If you time it, the skewer or whatever it is, if you time it right,
is that what it's called?
Yep.
Awesome. It also takes out I feel like I've taken out what's the big truck thing?
There's a Warthog, or there's the
Warthog.
Yeah.
I feel like you can one-shot that thing with it, but I could be wrong.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's great, man. It is great. And I'm playing on the 3070. So that's one thing. So I have the Series S, and I kind of got it just to play Halo, but I'm having more fun on PC and adjusting whatever settings I need to now play with a higher frame rate. Like I'm playing, and I get around 120 frames per second.
Dude.
It feels really good. Now I'm used to that. Like I like that speed and the feeling that my input is like matching what I want it to do. So I really like that. I'm playing there, but it holds its own. I'm able to do 1440p and 120 frames on a 3070. I played for a little bit for the first time on this 4K TV, and it holds 60 really well. And then everything feels great on the Series S. So I love that I can jump back and forth. Like if I don't want to sit on my chair anymore, I can go over to my TV. First world problems, but I can move over to my TV and I can play Halo, and it moves all my settings over. It's like just quick and easy. I love that.
Nice.
But yeah, playing Halo, loving it. Enough about Halo. Everybody digs it. But what'd you play this week?
Just more Guardians. Dude, this game's a blast. It's so fun. But that's the tricky thing. There's nothing else to say about it. It's still funny. It's still fun.
Have you finished it yet?
No. I'm probably a decent ways away.
Really? Okay.
But yeah, it's just fun. The fights feel kind of like a brawl, which does suck because when you die, like everyone's tanky. So when you do end up dying, I don't know. You haven't been paying attention to your health bar for the last 5 minutes, so yeah, it'd be nice if everyone was a little more deadly so you could be a little more careful. But yeah, it's just fun.
I haven't looked up any sales data and I haven't heard anything online, but I wonder how well it's doing if they get the go-ahead to just go straight into a sequel. I feel like it's been perceived well as far as reviews and stuff.
I hope so. It's just a weird thing to throw this prestigious studio at with Eidos Montreal. But that being said...
Yeah, and do they do Hitman, or it's like an offshoot of the team that does Hitman?
They did Deus Ex.
Deus Ex, yes.
Yeah. So it's fun and it's gorgeous. It really doesn't show very well in the footage how pretty it is.
I wouldn't doubt it. I did see PS5 and Series X got a ray tracing enabled mode. That's really dope.
And I've been playing on ray tracing this whole time. It looks... I would definitely recommend ray tracing for this. Yeah. It's subtle, but it looks really nice.
That's awesome. And there's plenty of Black Friday sales on a lot of the games that just came out, and Guardians is one of them. But because I got the disc version of PS5 or the discless version, and even my Series S doesn't have a disc drive, all these Black Friday sales are for actual disc versions of the game. So
that sucks. I didn't think about that.
So I'm stuck with the actual Xbox platform or the PlayStation Network. And there is some sales on the PlayStation Network, so that is pretty cool, but not nearly the kind of deals you're getting like Walmart's, Black Friday sales, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But yep.
Well, this will be interesting to see how this does in the Game Awards. I know you probably want to cover that one a little bit later in.
That is my first, and I'm numbering the news stories now, so that's a new thing, and the quick fire, so some new things to throw at you, Gavin.
Oh my!
But we'll move into the quick fire ones, get those out of the way. We'll spend as much time as you want on them, but it's just stuff to keep you up to date. So this is what's been happening this week and last week.
I live in a tube.
Apparently. So some quick fire news now, Gavin. We got Kojima started his own movie studio.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah, I'm just moving some of my stories.
Move those stories around. So it's a cool thing, and it's kind of people have brought it up online, but it's like it's about time because all his movies or his games are so cinematic, and you think that now they have the time and energy to move stuff over to, maybe he has a cool idea, it's moved over to this movie studio, they can just create it as an experience, as a movie. But we got that. So Arcane, your favorite show, did you finish that yet?
No, but the last 3 episodes are out. I started watching it before I came over here. It's so fucking good, and it's really stylish. Goddamn.
I saw IGN gave the series a 10 out of 10.
It's been
first season.
That's awesome. It's been funny too because there's a lot of people that have been watching it and really liking it. Like, okay, I'm gonna play the game.
Good luck.
Oh, this is nothing like the show.
Right. That is, I guess, the double-edged sword where you kind of do this offshoot and you make this cool experience, or this movie show, but it's not translatable to whatever the base game is. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it's not. The only thing is, like, so when they'd introduce a new character, they'd write a bit of story and they try and connect them to the other characters. So they've been building up this really interesting, intricate, layered story for years and years and years that you get a chunk of every 4 months. So I don't know. It's a weird, but that's nothing to do with the gameplay.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
interesting. So they got a season 2 greenlit, which seems like, no brainer.
One more.
Right. So we got the next quick fire. Horizon 5 had 10 million players first week. It's the biggest launch in Xbox history. So the amount of concurrent players in 1 week, it exceeded that. So it's dope. I mean, the only reason I'm not playing Horizon 5 is because Halo Infinite came out early, the multiplayer. So otherwise I'd be just balls deep in cars, but I am not. I will jump back eventually. Next one here.
Cars 2 driving around Mater.
Yes. Next one here. CDPR says Cyberpunk 2077 will not come to Game Pass. So there are some theories. People are wondering, when is it coming out? It's been a year now. They said they have no plans for it to come to Game Pass.
They have their own launcher.
They have their own launcher, but you think maybe they make a deal? You know, who's buying the game now? I just saw on like a Black Friday deals, it's $10 at Walmart.
Okay.
$10. So at least put it on Game Pass and help your numbers there. But yeah,
can you play it on current or last gen consoles yet?
You can. I don't know the quality of it, but I know they've made some updates. You can play it. I think it's at least passable now on last gen.
That's why I still think it's so weird that they think they're going to put out a next gen version.
Well, they pushed
or
that
a
to the
current
next
gen
year.
version or whatever. It can still barely be played on a current gen system.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I wonder how the Stadia version did. Of course, nobody fucking plays Stadia, but because that one's just streaming it, so maybe there was some benefit there. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Next one here, Gavin. Saints Row reboot delayed until August 2022. That one seemed cool, but yeah, it's now moved further into 2022.
Did you ever play the Saints Row games?
No, they were a bit too, and I like Grand Theft Auto, but they're a little too silly for me. I think that's what a lot of people like. They're just way more like if Grand Theft Auto just didn't take itself seriously as it does, and that was Saints Row.
Yeah.
At least the last kind of iterations of it. And it seemed cool, but yeah, I just found myself finding other sandboxy kind of games to play.
Yeah. I kind of just want to play it just for the scene where you come down, like you skydive into a party to Kanye's like All That Power and just murder everyone. And apparently it's a really cool moment.
You might have sold me on that, Gavin.
Yeah.
That's dope. There was the last week we didn't meet. We played Halo Infinite, but on last Monday they had Xbox's 20th anniversary stream.
Right.
So they announced some news on the
Wow, that was really only a week ago, huh?
Yeah, last Monday.
What the fuck?
So during that, Xbox added 76 more games to their backwards compatibility list, ending its program. So the total now is 632 backwards compatible games. That's quite a fucking bit.
Over 4 consoles? Xbox original, 360, thingamajig. No,
One.
just 3 then.
Just 3. All of them are now playable on one, and then the series. So yeah, it's quite a bit of games, and it's pretty nuts that they did that. The last one here, just some bit on Halo. 343 says Infinite Co-op not coming till May 2022, which is the start of the season 2, and then Forge not until September of 2022. So it's quite a bit of a wait for those iterations, which is a bummer because we talked about before. It'd be cool as we like multiplayer to jump into co-op. We have to wait a long time.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So, Gavin, I got the first news stories here. Number 1, move over to our B-roll. So, last week?
Should we write these down as we're going? Maybe put this in a notepad?
Are we giving some, I'll write it down right here. We're giving some predictions. Okay. So, we have the Game Awards nominees 2021.
Yeah.
So, start off with, I picked the bigger ones because there's like best, person mopping the floor. Like, I get that.
There really is. Best.
And that's cool. But like,
best person that's watched an esport.
Yeah. Yeah, how many G Fuels have you drank in one day? And that's great. It's just we're going to follow like the biggest ones, at least for the show. But Game of the Year. So we got Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank, and Resident Evil Village.
I think we've each played 3 of these.
So I played Deathloop, It Takes Two, didn't finish Deathloop, Ratchet, and then Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, so you played 3. I played It Takes Two, Psychonauts 2, Deathloop. Which I've finished all 3. Man, this has been a good year for me finishing games. I never finish games.
That's good. You pass it on to me now where I don't finish games. But I think it's just Metroid Dread we haven't finished.
Yeah, neither of us have tried it.
And this, for Metroid, I want to play it really bad.
But you finished Village, didn't you?
I did.
And you got close on Ratchet & Clank.
Got pretty damn close, and I'm going to finish it. It Takes Two. We both played together for like 2 months.
Such a good game.
Great game.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. And then Deathloop. I want to see it through, and it's a really cool idea. I just didn't finish it.
Sure.
But for me, It Takes Two easily.
Sure.
But I thought that beginning of the year, where when we were playing it, I was like, oh shit, this is my favorite game of this year.
It was
in a long time.
Yeah. Going for It Takes Two.
I would say so. What do you think? Because you played the hell out of Psychonauts 2. I know you love that one.
Psychonauts 2 for me just barely ekes it out, but It Takes Two was such a phenomenal game. And it sucks that they're also so similar to kind of like have to compare them like that. But Psychonauts 2, it also has the history of this is taking a whole bunch of plot lines from what? How many years ago?
I mean, it's back in the OG Xbox. It's
yeah. And tying that up into it. So it did have an advantage. Where does Resident Evil sit for you on this spectrum?
It's not too far behind them. I mean, It was really good. Well worth the wait from 6 to Village. And 6 for me was a great, just revitalization of the franchise, and loved it. And then 7 was the same way, where it was creepy, it was still fun and arcadey. Loved it. Played on the next gen systems too. That was dope. I would still, the amount of fun I had with It Takes Two very much exceeds that. Yeah. The only bummer I have is that, and it's been controversial, but with Forza Horizon 5, I haven't finished Forza Horizon 5, played it for a week, but I really, really love that game. I would still take It Takes Two because I had such a special time playing with it, but I would at least want to see Forza on there. And I wonder if it's not a bias, right? But it's this thing where, because it's a racing game, it's like, oh, shouldn't be in this, this group of games, but it was still like really highly regarded across the board.
Right.
So, and it has its presence on the list. We'll get to it, but Game of the Year, I think it should have had a nod. I don't know what you'd subtract because these are all bangers. I would maybe say take away Resident Evil Village.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's such a tricky list too. There have been so many amazing games that have come out this year. Like, do you just add more to the list? Do we need to bloat this a little bit? Because this is not as extensive as it really should be.
That's the thing. It's kind of hard to just boggle it down to what, 5, 6 games.
We get a banger a week for an entire year.
Right. So it's tough, and maybe you need to open this up a little bit, Jeff Keighley. But at the same time, it's hard to boil it down. With maybe I would even take Deathloop out. I know it had like 10 out of 10s for a lot of people, but it's all subjective though. That's the thing. It's like Game of the Year is different for everybody. So it's kind of, we're splitting hairs at this point.
I don't think it was Game of the Year material. I don't know anyone that thinks Metroid Dread was Game of the Year material.
I think a lot of people dug it, but I would love to try it. I'm just also, and I hate that I'm a piece of shit, but it's like, it's $60 and I wish it was a little cheaper, but knowing Nintendo, they never discount games. This will be $60 until Switch 25. They'll stay that way forever. And it's a bummer. I'd love to see it because then they'd have more people jumping in, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But that's my only hesitation. It's that. But I've heard only good things, and I like Metroid. I may be more interested. I think it comes down to I'm more interested in the 3D Metroids that have come out. Those seem really up my alley. But this one I've heard only good things about. I don't know.
You say that until you play one. They're just like the 2D ones.
Yeah,
it's a lot of backtracking.
I hear you. And maybe that gets annoying to me after a while.
Yeah.
But Game of the Year, I'm thinking It Takes Two. What do you think?
Psychonauts 2.
Gotcha.
With a very close second of It Takes. Who we got next? Oh, you're gonna write down. Gotcha.
I mean, I could just
take that being said, between those two, as gorgeous as Psychonauts 2, It Takes Two is probably the prettiest game I've ever played in my life.
Well, okay. Throwing down the gauntlet.
I mean, nice. What do you?
If we're going for prettiest, Ratchet and Clank, that was nuts. It's like Pixar level quality of visualization of graphics with ray tracing running at 60 on PS5 with instant loading. That one, and we haven't talked about it all, but like that one was really dope.
Sure.
And it was a great way to start off pretty close to the PS5 launch. It's like, this is a PS5 only game. A great way to show off the tech. And it was great. I didn't finish it. I got about 3/4 of the way. That's one that not because I didn't like it, just stuff, life finds a way. And so I didn't play it. But but it was great. And I love the first one. I finished the first one on PS4. And so it definitely deserves to be up there. And as far as like visuals, I don't know what's going to kick this out of that category. I don't know if we have that, but I have it written down here. But we'll move on to our next one here. So we have our critiques on what might be the next one for Game of the Year. So we have coming up Best Game Direction. So
I don't even know what that means.
So I don't either, Gavin, but it says awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. So I think it's how the player goes through the experience, how the levels are arranged, that kind of thing. So you have Deathloop, It Takes Two, Returnal, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Pretty close to the same list we just saw.
What are you thinking?
Ooh, best game direction. So I've played Ratchet.
Vision, innovative game.
This one's tough. I'm gonna go Takes Two again, but I might be more biased, and that's kind of showing there. But Deathloop had a lot of cool ideas to how the game is, unfolding around you. But I would give it It Takes Two.
Yeah.
Just all the different things they have to, irons they have in the fire, plates they have spinning. I would give it Takes Two.
Elephants were murdering brutally.
Yeah, that was
Make
weird.
our daughter cry.
That was weird.
It's real fucking.
I'm glad it happened, but it was weird.
I think I go It Takes Two. I've always wanted a game to try and have just like, let me have. I think a thing I loved about our time with what was the game they made before that?
Oh, so that's not Two Brothers, but it is Two Guys. Yeah, A Way Out.
So I think the one section of that game I loved was the barn, because we gotta hang out and just play with shit.
Yep.
And this game lets you do that all the time. And it's dumb, but those were my favorite parts.
They really took that around and like extrapolated for sure on it, where you have the gameplay, but then they even mix it where the gameplay mechanics are interlinking together too, where you have to work together. Yeah, they definitely learned from A Way Apart.
Yeah.
Or was it Way Apart or Way Out?
Way Out.
There we go.
So yeah, I'm with you on that. It Takes Two.
We'll go It Takes Two on best game direction, whatever that means. The next one here, I don't know if I have best narrative. No, so I'm kind of going over the bigger ones here. Best art direction.
I need to play Kenna. I hear it's awesome.
That's one that has passing up as well. It's on PC and PS5. So I don't have a dog in the race on here.
Sure. I'd probably go Psychonauts 2, but I just really like that game. And it did cool stuff with its art and portals and all sorts of cool techniques. So yeah, I'd give it fair and square.
I did. You have to note, like with Deathloop, the weird like 60s, 70s stuff going on.
Yeah.
As far as art direction was really, really cool. But Ratchet and Clank is probably the best. Like just the skyboxes on their own are little levels happening at the same time. It's nuts. But yeah. So I don't have best music as
music.
either.
I did like Cyberpunk's music though. That was pretty fucking awesome.
So I think that might be one of the only ones it's nominated for.
Sure.
Is best score music. And now I wonder if that same bias that keeps Forza out of the loop is because of the amount of hate and the fact that it released broken, Cyberpunk,
right,
which I get. But if you got to play it and it worked, do you think it should be up on somewhere else on the list besides score music? Because it was fun to play.
Yeah.
Maybe best open world, it could be nominated in there.
I wouldn't give it that, but yeah, it's tricky. It's such a tricky one.
Maybe graphics, and I'm not sure if that's on here, but
yeah.
Best audio design. So this is more of the audio effects going on versus the.
So they do have Horizon 5 on here.
Yeah, there you go. We got at least
what the fuck?
At least the engine sounds. We got Horizon 5, Deathloop, Ratchet and Clank, Resident Evil, Returnal. I won't say I didn't like Returnal. I wanted to really like Returnal, but it's just I can't play games apparently, and it's too hard for me. But the sound in Returnal is nuts.
Gotcha. And
the way they translate that to the DualSense and how you feel raindrops and whatnot, and the energy attacks, it's really, really cool. So with the little bit I played, even though I love Horizon 5, I would give that Returnal. But
this is on your list here. So I don't have a dog in this race. Deathloop was fine. That's the only one I played.
Yeah.
Where do you sit?
I'd say Returnal because of the cool effects that they really pushed in Returnal. Nice. All I know is the first biome, but from the first biome, the sound is next level.
Gotcha.
So we have best performance. So we played some of these. So we got
Carlos. That game also just released. What the fuck?
Far Cry 6. Yeah. So you have Erica Mori as Alex Chen in Life is Strange, which I didn't play that one. Giancarlo Esposito in Far Cry 6. Jason Kelly as Colt Vaughn in Deathloop. Maggie Robinson as Lady Dimitrescu in Resident Evil Village.
Step on me, mommy.
Yes, that's why she wins it for me. But Ozuyama Akagi as Juliana Blake in Deathloop. And their two voice performances in Deathloop are really nuts. They're awesome. Mm-hmm. And they're a big part of why that game's so cool. I wouldn't say I didn't like, but Giancarlo Esposito, he's from Breaking Bad. He's a great villain anytime he's a villain. But part of it was the writing and like the facial capture stuff in Far Cry 6 fell apart for me.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't give it to him just based on that. But the Lady Dimitrescu, Maggie Robinson, her performance is dope. And for me, that made Resident Evil Village. And she's also in there not as long as you think. So it's kind of a bummer.
Oh, really? That sucks.
It does. But I'd give it to her for sure.
Gotcha.
So we got best performance. Best action game is one of the next ones here.
It's also a weird category.
So I'm skipping on. You know what? I didn't bring up best indie. So we've played some of these. So Death, 12 minutes first off.
Mhm.
Death's Door, Inscription, kind of Bridge of Spirits, and Loop Hero.
I need to finish Death's Door. That was so fun when I played.
Yeah, I sank maybe like 8 hours into it, and it's really cool.
But you were a huge 12-minute stan.
I was, because it was really weird, and I like time loops that happen in games, and the story's fucked up, and the options they give you is very point and click, but it feels good to like figure stuff out and try things.
Right.
And I had Megan next to me the whole time, and like we played together where it's like, let's try this, let's try that. Just for that experience, I really liked it. So compared to them, and I haven't played Loop Hero, I know people were balls out of their mind for Loop Hero.
You would not like Loop Hero.
It sounds like I wouldn't, and I dig that you loved it, but I think I could tell that it just wasn't for me. But how'd you feel?
It's a good game to play while you're eating.
Really?
Although I've started picking up Dicey Dungeons again, so that's also a good one to play while you're eating.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's so 12 minutes has it for you, or how are we
I would say
feeling?
12 minutes.
Okay.
Death's Door is very close, and then haven't played Kenna or Loop Hero.
Yeah, I still need to play Inscription. I've only played the demo, but yeah, I think Death's Door. Can we back up? I want to see what the last two was, because there's one.
Best ongoing. So Apex
Okay.
Legends, Final Fantasy, Fortnite,
Nobody
Genshin.
cares. Yeah.
That's I did put it. Games for Impact. So Before Your Eyes, Boyfriend Dungeon, which I heard good things about.
I still need to finish Chicory. A
Chicory.
Colorful Tale.
People are really positive on that. Life is Strange. I played one of the Life is Strange games, and it was cool. It was one of the last ones that came out, but I just didn't have much interest in True Colors. And then No Longer Home, haven't played it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I haven't played a lot of those Impact games. And
because my boy's in here somewhere. Is it?
So there's Best Action was my next one. Well, we can touch on VR. So Hitman 3, I Expect You to Die 2, Lone Echo 2, Resident Evil 4, and Sniper Elite VR. I haven't played any of them. So I would have played Resident Evil 4, but it's locked to the Oculus 2 for however that exclusivity is. It's a bummer.
I haven't heard anything about Lone Echo 2. I heard the first one was really, really good, and expectations were high for number 2, and I've heard nothing about it.
I did play the first one. I know it was free when I got my Oculus, and so it's ready at dawn too. They did one of the God of War games on PSP.
Really?
Yeah, they're a big dev. But so with that one, you're moving in, in VR, but in like full 3D space where you're in a spacesuit. You're able to jetpack around, and you're almost playing like a weird soccer frisbee thing where you're throwing these discs. Yeah, and you can like stop each other, punch each other. You have to throw it into an area. So it's like almost like a weird 3D soccer thing going on.
It sounds like the game in Ender's Game, like where you have to zoom past each other in 3D.
Oh yeah, it's sort of similar to that. Huh. Yeah, it was cool. I haven't played the sequel, but yeah. And when I got my Oculus, I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. I'm gonna play Half-Life Alyx, so I just jumped straight into that. But yeah, and I can't wait to play Resident Evil VR eventually.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
But I have Best Action Game here.
Yeah, we got Back 4 Blood in there for some reason.
Yeah, you think it'd be more ongoing, but I guess because it's so soon, I don't know. But yeah, Back 4 Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop, Far Cry 6, and Returnal.
Any strong feelings?
So for me, played just barely any of Back 4 Blood, Deathloop quite a bit, Far Cry 6 quite a bit, and I suck at Returnal. I liked Far Cry. It's rough around the edges, and it definitely needs to be revitalized, like the gameplay, the engine, but I still liked my time playing it. It's more open world, sandboxy first person shooter. I loved it. But yeah, I would say Far Cry 6.
I'd be curious to see you try the Far Cry DLC. Apparently it's kind of like Deathloop.
With Voss and the weird stuff going on. Yeah, I watched a trailer. I think it comes out soon, but I don't think it's out quite yet.
Oh, I thought it was. Okay.
I don't believe so. And I haven't seen any reviews for it, but I know that's coming up. And it looks dope. And Voss is a cool character. It seems like they already announced that they're going to tackle each classic villain from the past ones with DLC coming up. So that could be really cool. And Voss looks really dope too.
That's just perfect to do a time loop with the guy whose catchphrase is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Now he has to do it. Yeah. Yeah, really cool. That's one thing I love about Far Cry 6 is that they do their main line and then they're free to just, get weird with it every time. And that's usually where they shine.
Right. Not their main game.
So that's the big ones that I pulled up here. The last one, it's similar to Best Action Game, but it's Best Action Adventure. And here's where your boy Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is: Metroid Dread, Psychonauts, Ratchet, and Resident Evil.
I still give it Psychonauts too. I thought The Lost City was in one of those categories though.
I think you're right.
Where are we at?
So we have Best Role Playing. Nope. Oh, there's Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah.
Made a presence there. We have best fighting.
Oh boy, Nickelodeon All Stars.
It
That'll
just
go
came out
into
too.
one of our next stories here. Unless we stick with the numbers. Where's
Best family. So I like to see that It Takes Two was there. It's definitely like your family could play it.
Oh,
Mario
absolutely.
Party Superstars, Pokemon Snap, which I meant to play it, haven't. And this one even more so was Super Mario 3D World that had the Bowser's Fury part. That seemed really cool.
It was
And
pretty fun,
WarioWare.
actually.
We got that, and I'm not seeing.
Where's
What was it? The
my
Sunken City.
boy? Yeah, the Lost City. Where's
Lost
the
City. It wasn't
boy?
under indie either.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Now they have their cutoff time, but best multiplayer, I would already give it to Infinite already. But they have their cutoff time, and I
He
think that
loved
launched.
Valheim though.
I did. Damn, I forgot that was this year. I played a shit ton of Valheim.
Uh-huh.
The only reason why I stopped because I rage quit because I had all my stuff on a boat, and so many hours spending crafting stuff. It
Oh, no.
sank, and it's just gone forever. No, it wasn't gone forever. I could go venture out to get it, but it was so far away, and you're left with nothing until you go get your stuff back. I had to walk away.
Gotcha.
But it's really, really cool.
I heard good things about Knockout City.
Me too.
I played
the
it.
beta or whatever, the demo.
I was getting my ass whooped, and so I may have rage quit.
Yeah, I didn't play much of it, but it seemed neat. You have New World, which Amazon people love this game
Oh, sure.
apparently. So that's there, best multiplayer.
Where's
Content creator of the year.
what the
I'm
fuck?
not big on these content creators, or I don't know them,
Don't know any of them.
but I know they do that every year.
Debut indie. There we go. The Forgotten
Gotcha.
City. Everyone go vote for it. It's amazing. Very there's nothing like it. I mean, it is a time loop game, but it does the time loop slightly different, and it's a game where you talk. Like it's a lot of talking and puzzles, and it's really cool.
Gotcha. I'm giving it to Valheim, and I predict they do as well, but I
Sure.
think I need to play that as well. But that's the big ones. So we have December something. December coming up is the Game Awards.
Sure.
And I will send you the date. You've got to try and make it work where we can stream it and watch it for the podcast.
We always, gotta have our. And didn't they say there's going to be like a bajillion more announcements this year?
Yeah,
It's
there's
just-
like 99 announcements, and they have a whole musical orchestra there as well, and like they're going all out back to normal like Game Awards stuff. So, and before the Corona, we had the Xbox Series X was announced there. Like
Right.
they had some big announcements, so I'm glad they're going back to that, and it'd be really cool. I'm excited.
So he's announcing the Dreamcast 2, right?
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Dreamcast 2 is coming back, baby. What a great console too. But we have our next news story here, number 2. GTA Trilogy Patch 1.02 fixes huge list of bugs on PS5 and PS4. So brought this up really just to touch on the fiasco that was the release of this game. So I'll play some of the B-roll and jump into it. Let me mute that real quick. So we got a big bug squad. This is from pushsquare.com. This is from pushsquare.com. I'm going to edit that. A big bug squashing update for GTA Trilogy is now live on PlayStation 5 and PS4. Rockstar Games made a website post this week in which they started by saying, "We want to provide an update regarding the unexpected technical issues that came to light." I found that interesting, the unexpected technical issues.
It was expected. I can guarantee you these playtesters told them.
The playtesters say, "Hey, this is fucked up. You guys just like put a cool coat of paint on this game, and it's no better than any of the modders have done over the years."
I guarantee you it's worse than what the modders have done over the years.
Right. No, yeah, they've fixed all this stuff. They've like made better HD versions. They've done it. And then they had these like weird content strikes or lawsuits against a lot of these content creators in the past. So the company stated that it has ongoing plans to address these technical issues and tend to improve each game going forward. General fixes include improvements to incorrect or misplaced textures, character models, audio skipping. So that happened late last week, and just to frame like the shit show that was this release. And yeah, so here's a compilation of various bugs.
This isn't that weird, but it is pretty funny.
There's a lot of weird ones. So the actual compilation's here from Catlarius on YouTube. But it's the unexpected thing that they threw in there. Because like they knew.
Right.
They had playtesters, just like you said, they knew. But they said, people are going to buy this anyways, let's just put it out. But a lot of the character models look weird. Yeah, they're disappearing. Which some of the stuff is, that's like GTA that happens.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond that, where it's just like some extra love needed. Oh yeah, and he died. Your mission failed because he died.
No.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell's happening there.
Oh Oh, the motion blur on this game is intense. I mean, it was pretty intense back in the day because that would help them get away with a low frame rate.
Oh,
But
sure. Yeah, the fog's gone now too.
oh, sure.
But I'm not even mad at the like cell shaded almost like coding and everything. I think that looks cool. And I played San Andreas because it's on Game Pass. Played that a little bit, and the lighting is neat with the explosions that are happening and stuff. But it's just apparently, the glitches that have been there that still were transferred over.
Right.
And it seems like for such a huge franchise, they needed to put the time deserved into this thing. Yeah. Don't police just fly out of the sky like that? Oh, that guy was going like 1,000 miles an hour.
Woo, this is a good reel.
This is cyberpunk, basically.
This is pretty good. I think the thing I'd struggle with playing these old games is
whoa. Damn.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Whose supercut is this again?
This is Cat Larius on YouTube.
Cat Larius. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right.
Jeez.
What's this audio here?
This makes me want to play it.
Right. I want to try the third one or the first one, especially. It's been so long. I think your guns are just cycling constantly.
Yeah, they're running super quick. I think the thing that would be weird going back because 4 had decent gunplay and 5 actually had good gunplay. So going back to when gunplay was just absolute horseshit might be kind of rough.
They did add apparently. I haven't tried the first one, but they've added some of the gunplay mechanics or the way they actually control into these older ones. So they have said that the gun wheel itself is in each of them now.
Oh boy.
I know there's some, I don't know what the glitch is. There you go. Yeah, that's more just the AI itself.
It is.
Weird. But there's some controversy because we mentioned last time we had talked about it, about hot coffee. I guess those files are still in these and people had found them again.
Awesome.
And so there's just a rehash of all the controversy there.
Yeah, it's not going to be a controversy now because who the fuck gives it?
No one does.
Yeah.
But yep. So that was a bogged release. People are very angry about that.
Oh, I haven't seen this next one yet. So,
alrighty. So we got Battlefield 2042 becomes one of Steam's worst reviewed games while it's one of its most played. Quick blur from IGN.
Oh, I thought it was going to be something different.
Ooh. According to data published by Steam's 250 Steam 250's Hall of Shame, which ranks the worst reviewed games of all time on the platform. The EA shooter is currently experiencing a pretty dismal launch as far as user reviews are concerned. Currently ranked as the 9th worst reviewed game of all time on the platform, Battlefield 2042 has seen over 30,000 of its 42,000 reviews on the platform come back negative. Still has strong numbers, but it has a lot of reviews or negative reviews. But you've played more of this, or I haven't played much of it at all. Have you jumped into the actual release here?
I have not, even though I own it.
What do you think about some of this reception?
I mean, I need to play it to actually experience what they're seeing. Yeah. I know a lot of people are upset about like the class system, which I personally think is fine. But yeah, I need to play it to actually have an opinion. But gamers, we're very passionate about this stuff, and sometimes they like to review bomb stuff. And I don't know if that's actually what this is or if it actually has problems. I had fun in the test we did.
Yeah.
But
I know I have seen like IGN, they had the same issues or complaints, but they did praise their Forge equivalent, whatever it's called.
Right. Portal.
They said there's a lot of potential there and it is really cool.
Yeah.
But they had issues with the actual multiplayer aspect of it. But yeah, I don't know if it's just balancing or bugs or both, but it is a looker.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks better than we're playing Halo right now, which I think even though it's an next-gen game, it doesn't look it. It looks like the last Halo.
I'll fight you on that. It looks great.
I mean, it looks great, but so did the last Halo, which looked exactly like this one.
It's great. I love it. But yeah, people not liking apparently Battlefield 2042. You got to jump in and tell me what you think next week and see if any of that's valid. But yeah, some people, a lot of them, 30,000 whatever, are review bombing it. But
this helicopter going on a fucking run though.
Yeah, and it's been on fire for 10 minutes. But nothing happening. But yep.
Jesus Christ. Like 6 people just there alone.
I like the weather stuff that's happening, the sandstorm. There's a lot on paper that's really cool. But also, like I played the beta with you, it's so chaotic. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around it. and I'm running for a long time to just die instantly once I find people.
Right.
So that's a bummer. But I also don't know there's a learning curve, and I'm just bad at the game already. So there's that.
I did also hear that was the worst map, which seems like
played?
a weird way to do it. Yeah.
Gotcha. But we'll see. Maybe they turn it around and any updates or what have you, it fixes the issues there. But
We need a No Man's Sky meets Battlefield. So we're traveling. We got all these planets real close by, and we're going
Whoa.
to travel between them.
But then how do you keep it where it's not just ship on ship warfare and actual like person on person?
You go inside the planet,
Oh.
and then you make the planet destructible. So you're also blowing up the planet.
Damn.
Sold.
And then your GPU just melts when it has a render planet melting.
No, we're gonna get the people that made Outer Wilds.
Oh, there you go. They don't do
They
it.
can simulate everything
Yep.
all at once. Oh my
Nice.
god! Now I want to play this game that doesn't exist.
We'll pitch it to somebody. Yeah. The next one here is some news on Dying Light.
Are we skipping Metaverse here?
Oh, it's coming up. I just had it
Okay.
in my list at the end, so that's why.
This makes me mad that this is not in most anticipated for Game of the Year, because this is my most anticipated.
Interesting. Yeah. I put it there too. I didn't have that pulled up. Maybe it is, but I haven't
It's
looked at
not.
that list. Oh, interesting. But we have some news on that. There's zero chance of Dying Light 2 being delayed again from pushsquare.com again. First announced at E3 2018 and confirmed for release in spring 2020. It was then delayed indefinitely. The game resurfaced earlier this year with the hope of hitting a release date early next month. It was then delayed once more to 4th of February 2022. But lead game designer Timon Smektala says there's absolutely zero chance of the title being pushed any further back. Early February is when we'll be playing Dying Light 2. Which coincides with when it came out originally, because I know it was like the first actual year of PS4.
Huh.
After that holiday, it was that first calendar year. It came out like January, February-ish. So it was like the first big like next-gen game on the PS4. But it looks, at least it's not getting pushed any further.
Right.
So
And some people played it for what I think like an hour or two.
yeah, Hygiene had
recently.
impressions, and they had positive stuff to say about it. So
Has a chance of being good. Really hope so.
yeah, I think as long as they nail the experience of the first one.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're the only place I think they're trying to innovate besides like the visuals and stuff would be the whole story mechanics and how you can change the world around you. I wonder if they pull that off. But even if that's limited, I still have fun with the base gameplay, so I'm cool with it.
The one thing I heard from the previews, basically from everyone, is they said every little aspect of the first one has just been tuned a little bit.
Okay.
So the parkour is a little better, the combat's a little better. That's good.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I still need to beat the first one. I hear it's an absolute riot.
Oh yeah,
I'll-
had a lot of fun.
That's the other thing I hear they changed, and I am thankful, but they made it so the nights aren't so scary. And that's when I quit the first one. Those nights, I couldn't get past how terrifying they were, and you
Yeah.
have to get through them.
Right.
So-
Yeah, I didn't have that same experience where they're like too scary, but I could tell where they're definitely stressful,
Yeah.
and I think I just found myself avoiding it when I could. But I like that whole risk reward thing though with the nighttime.
Right.
So if they can make you feel maybe a bit more powerful this time around, then that could kind of balance that out a little bit. But it's coming February, and apparently not going to get pushed again. So, which in this day and age, even though it's a game I want to play, it's like, push it, because we've seen when it's not pushed, we get the whole Cyberpunk 2077 situation where it's like, take your time. Especially you have Corona in the mix where everyone's working from home. It's harder to put these things out.
Yeah.
So take your time. But if they're saying it's not going to get pushed further, then that's cool. But that was in the news. Our next one here, number 5. Xbox Insider leaks new Halo game ahead of Halo Infinite release.
What the fuck?
Yes, from comicbook.com. So this one has a huge grain of salt, but it's
Can we talk about these hot dog fingers here real quick? Bring the camera
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
We
yeah.
need to see these hot dogs.
You got it stat. So they're a little rubbery, a little orange, glistening, and they're pretty fat. That's some Andre the Giant fingers there. You're not wrong about that. But like the leather looks cool and weathered and detailed.
Yeah.
It's a looker. Hopefully, it still runs well. Yeah, we got the next one here. No, you're fine. It's a good the good catch there. So this one, huge grain of salt. We got this article from comicbook.com. According to a new report, 343 Industries is working on a new Halo game or a new Halo spin-off game and will make it alongside supporting Halo Infinite. Unfortunately, this is all the report divulges. The new information on the future of Halo comes the way of prominent Xbox insider and leaker Jez Corden, who I believe I follow on Twitter, who shared the information during a recent episode of the Xbox 2. What this Halo game is, Corden doesn't say. It doesn't sound like it will be the next mainline installment in the sci-fi first-person shooter series, which means many Halo fans are speculating it will be Halo Wars 3, and this is possible, but that would presumably mean 343 Industries would be a joint developer on the project like it was in Halo Wars 2. So not a lot to go on there, but just this weird little leak that maybe they're coinciding Halo Infinite with another, not like it's going to launch day and date, but like they're also working on another Halo-themed game. There have been MMOs they've tried to do that was canceled with Halo series. You have, what's that in between Halo 3 and the next one? ODST.
Oh, ODST, which I hear was good.
Yeah, and it's on the Master Chief Collection. I need to play it all the way through, but it's a deep universe, and you can still follow like the regular soldiers and still combat the, and even like in Halo lore, there was a time before the Spartans where it was just, there was like civil war where humans are fighting humans. You could do something like that and still have their cool future tech. You could throw in the actual aliens in there, the brutes. You could do something that's not just Master Chief and it'd still be dope.
Right. Is there a genre that they haven't done yet? So we have the RTS, we have the FPS. Is there something we
really
hop
it.
into next?
Do you remember there was an arcade game they put out? It was like an actual booth arcade game.
No clue what you're talking
Yeah, they
about.
eventually put it to Game Pass, so you can play it, but it's like an on-rail shooter kind of thing.
What the fuck?
But it's on Game Pass. But there was an MMO way back, and I've just watched footage on YouTube recently. It was a canceled MMO in the Halo universe. Beyond that, I don't know if you have like Warthog, Forza Horizon Racers or something. I mean, you can get the
Let's do
Warthog
it.
in Forza. But
We'll have a Griffball only game,
ooh,
sports game.
team up with Rocket League, do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could do anything you want. I think it does have to be in the shooter space. It could still be third person, something like that. You could even make it where, because when you're human, the actual aliens, why am I forgetting their
Covenant?
name? The Covenant. The actual Covenant are super
Do you even
powerful.
like Halo, bro?
Apparently, I've never played Halo game in my life. My brain also sucks. But the Covenants are so uber powerful to the humans, like they can't tackle them one-on-one. And that's why the Spartans really excel at actually engaging in one-on-one combat. In the books, that was a big deal when Master Chief could like hold his own against an actual elite, like one-on-one.
Oh, jeez.
So you could do a play on that where it's like alien isolation, where you have to escape from these Covenant that are super powerful, and you're just a regular human, or you have a gun and stuff. But you can make it where it's actually scary. Or one of those walking tanks with the spikes, and they have that like power gun that's like fused onto their body, and they're made out of worms. They're in the original Halo. They just walk around, and they're only like their soft spot is in their neck or something.
I haven't played enough of the original to know what you're talking about. That's
But
interesting.
I forget the name of what they're called. But they're like a crazy monster that could stalk you. They could do something like that, like alien isolation style, or just third-person shooter with the actual Marines. They could do whatever, tons of stuff within the Halo universe.
Walking simulator.
There you go. You have to walk around the entire ring. But that could be cool because that ring is beautiful. So I don't know. There's a ton they could do. I don't know if this is legit, but I wanted to cover that.
Gotcha.
But the most important piece of news here is this Multiverses game that was leaked, rumored a week ago when we were meeting, and then it actually was dropped by WB.
I think one thing I'll say, I've only seen stills, but the backgrounds are immediately way better than anything in that Nicktoons All-Star.
You think?
Yeah, the background, like the Nicktoons
yeah.
All-Stars backgrounds are super boring.
I wouldn't doubt that. It's actually really, really cool looking. And it's free to play, and they have all characters across all WB-owned franchises. So you have Game of Thrones, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Cartoon Network stuff in there.
I mean, these animations are super expressive.
It is cool. I'm not a big fighting game fan.
Right.
But does this appeal to you? What do you think?
If it's good, then yes. But people seem very mixed, so I'm wondering. I very casually play Smash Brothers, so when people are kind of tearing this apart, I don't actually know what they're talking about.
Sure, like the diehards might criticize whatever timing or something's going on.
Yeah, this just looks like Smash Brothers to me, but I mean, it looks fun. I'd play it.
Smash Bros. Is like Fortnite stuff mixed in there.
This does bring. How do you? But you wouldn't play this.
I mean, it's free to play. I'll definitely try it.
Yeah,
just to kind of be in on the that first week, but. I find it interesting. So they're mixing a lot of different rated characters. So you have Game of Thrones characters.
I haven't seen her yet.
So she's in there. And I think in the trailer they talk about it, but she's in there. Game of Thrones is definitely, R-rated. Then you have Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. You have Wonder Woman.
Shaggy lost his shirt just there. All right, can we back up? I want to see if I can spot Arya.
Did Wonder Woman punch it off of him? I know you can buy different.
Oh, is that
skins.
Arya right there? She almost looked like.
Yeah, so that is her.
Oh, that looks almost like Aloy.
You're right. Very similar. But that is her. But WB owns a ton of stuff. Like we talked about last time. They have the Matrix in there. I'd love to see Neo kicking some ass or fighting Shaggy and seeing who's the one.
Oh, that's interesting. I love how expressive these all are. Like you even look at Jake the dog being absolutely ridiculous in there, or Jake. Oh, and they actually have the voice actors, which the Nicktoons one didn't. I don't think they were as expressive. So at least for the animation side, I'm very excited in the art style. Yeah, hopefully it's fun.
And the actual voice actors are a big deal. Like you have Maisie Williams playing her character in Game of Thrones, that original Batman voice actor from the cartoon. You have Shaggy from the movie, this guy from Adventure Time, the dog, and what's her face, Harley Quinn from the actual animated show.
Right.
So that's a big plus, I think, for a lot of people. As long as the gameplay is actually, fun and satisfies the hardcore fighting game fans too.
Right.
In the trailer, they mentioned they are working hard on their servers to make sure it's like it feels one for one when you're playing.
Ooh, I wonder if they'll have rollback. Speaking of, though, I got another fighting game we may have to bring up.
Yeah.
Can you look up, I believe it's League of Legends Project...
Oh, didn't they show like a couple seconds of that?
S? I don't know. You could do fighting game. Oh, there it is. Is this the newest one?
2 days ago from Riot.
Yeah. Can't tell if
I feel like they showed 5 seconds
not.
more, right? I think that's why I didn't pull it up.
No, they showed a bunch now.
Oh, okay.
But they did a big data dump because they released that one game. The whatchamacallit
Ooh,
last
this
week.
looks really good as far as just like the visual quality. Damn.
That's the perfect character to have in there. The guy with the giant axe is Darius. Also, Echo in the game, he can travel back in time. So they're bringing traveling back in time into his character set. So you go in for a combo, maybe you back out, or maybe you travel back in time and use that to chain into what you're already doing.
Whoa.
So I
imagine they balance out where you can still cancel that thing out. Because otherwise, as a person who can't do that,
right,
on the other side, it's got to be weird.
Well, the other thing I'm excited about too, so I'm terrible at fighting games. Now, Riot bought this studio like almost 10 years ago. It's been forever and a day. And the game they were famous for is this fighting game that is very, very accessible. So just about anyone pick it up and start playing it. But also the pros still liked it because it wasn't about being able to do cool moves easily like you can in Smash Brothers. It's also... there's still a technique behind it. You need to know how to chain your moves together and actually whoop ass. So that's cool that I will actually be able to play this. I won't have to be able to do my up, down, left, right, A, B, select, start,
right? Just
to punch a guy in the face.
Yeah, that reminds me of like Mortal Kombat is very much like that. At least as someone who's not a fan and plays a little bit, it feels like it is that.
Yeah, I really want this guy. So that's Darius with the axe, and.
Yeah.
I really want to. So in the game, story wise, so he's an executioner, and he's also a big soldier, but he's an executioner is sort of his thing. But he's got a brother who's the showy executioner. So if he's gonna do it, he's gonna like be doing it by hucking an axe from fucking downtown while like doing a keg stand and
That's
making
awesome.
froyo. So I want that guy and those two to go up against. And it is a tag style, so you get 2 fighters and you can tag in and out. That's really
they
exciting.
can pull from any League of Legends, like any character from that world, and put in this game, right?
Yeah. So, and that's exciting. And this bridge is a very big character in the show, which I've been watching. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, the art is nuts.
Yeah.
It reminds me of it's like what I want the next Capcom versus Marvel to look like, because they always follow that cartoony kind of comic book like vibe, but like this is that times 1,000, but like upgraded and high res, and it looks really great.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I think when they showed this off, they announced that it's not. They're still deep in development, so it's going to be a while.
And that's what they said again here.
But at least this is more footage from was it about a year and a half ago they showed this off?
I think it was exactly a year.
So I think it was just like tiny snippets. It wasn't this kind of extended gameplay. It was just little bits.
Yeah. Oh, and they've got the biggest character pool in history.
Sure.
So any role they want to fill, they can basically do it. And they all have crazy mechanics. So I'm sure those will translate really well into fighting.
Nice. Yeah, I almost didn't bring this up because I assumed it was also another little snippet like last year.
Yeah.
This is what I read, so I just kind of disregarded. But no, this is a lot of gameplay.
They didn't show off. I don't think Jinx may be new. I think they showed Echo before, but Echo is born to be in this. There's several characters that are basically fighting game characters in the actual game.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
we'll see.
Project L.
Project L. And of course, yes, rollback netcode they're talking about. They talked about with their netcode, they have server station and they try and optimize the route. And I'm curious, I didn't know about that. That's a very good idea. So I'm actually
From like
curious.
player to player, a more efficient route network wise.
Yeah, because you can just be chaining all over the states in
Sure.
a very inefficient route. So they're saying they're using their own stuff to try and simplify that route.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
okay. I'm mad at that.
Yeah.
Well, Gavin, that is all I have for you this week.
I think the only thing I brought up.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally
this
forgot about
game.
that.
I feel like I've been meaning to bring this up for a few weeks now, but this is Super Dungeon Maker. I saw this recently, and it's like it's Mario Maker, but for dungeons. I think there's a little more like temporary power ups, but I'd be very curious to see how this turns out. If it does well, do they make a way so you can put it in an overworld, or
Yeah.
can you have an overworld that it's randomly picked from an overworld, and then each dungeon is randomly picked from other people's dungeons, so you just have Infinity Zelda.
This one's super interesting. I wonder how long it's been in development. I imagine a good while, right?
Probably.
But the a lot of the cries from fans of Super Mario Maker have been do this with Zelda.
Yeah.
And it seems like they took that and basically took it over. And like, what else does Nintendo need to do? This is basically that, where it's like it's scratching that itch. And I imagine way more customizable than Creation Zelda game would be
Right.
from Nintendo.
I think this one, I'd be curious how interested people are in playing. That being said, with like, if you watch people making stuff in Mario Maker, it's crazy how with their tools, a lot of it's like fun combinations. Let's take this torch and put it in a piranha plant. Now it's a flaming piranha plant and fun stuff like that. So I don't think they're doing that here, but
man, if I was Nintendo and I saw this, I'd be like, okay, cool. We'll give you the assets. Make this Zelda.
right.
Like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
But they're going to shit the bed again and just not do the thing that people want them to do, when this would be one for one. Like, it would be great for Zelda.
If there's a thing they like to do, it's shit the bed.
Yeah. And not crapping on these devs either. They've taken their own route and making something really cool for what it looks like. But it's also like you could have sold way more copies if Nintendo would have their head up their ass and like just linked up with you and made it work.
I'd be curious to see. We're only really seeing 2 enemies. I'd be curious to see what other enemy types do you have in there. Yeah.
You have different
Stream Hard
styles.
Challenge, Switch Puzzles, 64 rooms. What is this? Community Hub. So it's just a bunch of. Okay.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what's the limit on stuff you can link together, and I guess how long you want to make these levels, really.
Yeah. I think that was the only thing I had to. Oh, Exo 1 is out.
Oh, did you play that?
I did, man. It is. I think
it called X1 or Exo1?
Exo 1. Or EXO.
Oh, right, Exo1. Yeah, and this is not Game Pass, or is it?
No. So I
Gotcha.
think it was like $20. The tricky bit. So I was playing it as sort of like a flow-like game, or like a whatever that one is, where it's I figured to be very relaxing to play before bed. And while it's extremely relaxing, it's also hard to put down, even though you're not doing anything. You're just traversing.
Gotcha.
But it feels so good to do, you don't want to put it down.
What was their flash of astronauts?
So there's a story that I couldn't give a fuck about.
Oh, okay.
But there is a story.
I thought you were just a frisbee flying around that some college kids threw.
You're supposedly some sort of non-traditional aircraft. Like, that was the one snippet I
Oh.
paid attention to, is like, we have to start thinking non-traditional aircrafts. Like, let's even rethink the concept of, does this thing even need a cockpit?
Gotcha. Then is there a
So,
person there? It's a drone or
I
an
assume
AI?
a person's in it, but it can transform. It can also multiply how much gravity pulls on it. So that's how
Oh.
you accelerate down those hills is you increase your gravity. And then unintuitively, when you're at the bottom of the hill, then you release the button, go back to normal gravity. So you
launches.
shoot up the hill. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then when you're in the clouds, you can, like you have limited flight except for when you're traveling through clouds. So you're also going through those.
Wow.
It just feels good. It feels very natural. It's relaxing.
This is really cool. Kind of gives me Journey vibes, I guess, or like even before that flow where it's more about just moving around and experiencing the environment and the feeling of how it feels to move around.
Yeah.
This looks really cool.
It's been interesting. I'm only 3 levels in, but like what variety they can add is neat.
Yeah, well, if they're traveling, is it on the same planet or you can travel different planets? So maybe you can really change the biomes or terrain even more.
Yeah, it's different planets every time, but it's definitely not meant to be challenging.
It's also
just,
really good looking.
Oh, fuck yeah. Even better when you're playing it locally.
Dang. Any ray tracing that you know of?
Don't think so.
Gotcha. And it's not like every game has to have it. I'm just a
Right.
sucker for those taglines, but it looks great without it. Nice. Yeah, this is one that I remember seeing footage of a while back. And you're telling me you're going to play it. I need to play it.
Mhm.
I feel like I remember seeing something about Game Pass, but maybe not.
Mm.
Either way, I'll pay $20 for this. Dope. Yeah, I wonder if they could figure out to be graphically. I don't know if they can do it, but if it could be on like mobile or something where you really are just like in bed, you know,
Right.
flicking around. I imagine it's more complicated as far as like how do you control the little spaceship?
See, and that's where I don't know is could you pull this on mobile? Because for the most part, you don't need to be ridiculously accurate, but you do at least want to time your jump correctly.
Maybe Switch, although that's even less power there.
Yeah, it does need to be a looker, that's for sure.
But you're still using like keyboard and mouse and stuff?
I use controller, but
Gotcha.
it's very few buttons. There's hop, and you get a double jump. There's increase your gravity, go back to normal gravity, and then
Gotcha.
flatten out to fly, and that's it. While you're
Nice.
flying, you can dive, but
Very cool. And are you trying to go to a certain area?
yeah, there's a light in the distance you can see.
Oh, you always have to go towards that.
Yeah, so far every level it's just been that,
Gotcha.
which it's always way further away than you think it is.
I see. But playing around with the different hills and whatnot and trying like, is there any multiplier thing going on or you're just experiencing it? Gotcha.
And there's even been times where I realized like by traveling through the clouds and I get infinite flight while going through a cloud, you go really fast and I could really optimize my route. But
Then you miss this?
yeah, it's not as fun. So I try and get like really steep angles and just shoot down those, and I have fun with that.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, this is it's back in my radar. I kind of forgot about it. I will jump into that. Well, Gavin, well, we can end it there for the week. Where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at DrunkDevs.
Awesome. And you can keep up with the show as well on Twitter at PlasticCarPod. That's it for us this week. We'll see you next week.